blessed ones of the nations of the world. One more time, thus is your brother Dan Moses or say Yausakodi of TRC, Ghana, coming to you this 15th of April 2022 with the continuation of our exposé's Testimony New World Disorder. We have received part 101. We have received part 102, and we know part 102 was recorded at the White House on April the 13th, 2022. It is now time for us to receive what to do. Blessed ones of the nation, before we begin, let's welcome each other by saying Akwaba, Akwaba, Allen, Sahalen, Shagitam, welcome, Ingandoni, Benvindo, you are welcome, Kuso, Diwo to San Yusenyo, Okukulaba, Mauya, Mengalaba, Boyei, Malamo, Karebu, Ekabo, no, o Sano de Zua, Enquandena, Nitash, Duburo, Pejalovat, Bini I Vinit, Barigalus, Vita Iche, Ayubon, Dobridoya, Velkommen, Istan, Wozut, Walam, Anuman, Bienvenido, Namaste, Swagatam, Kush, Amadid, Baruch, Haba, Marhaba, Wanyong Haminida, Wanying, Nyejeko, Anyamime, Nyejeko, We Zolo, Novio, Mia Wezo, Akwaba to the program. Testimony New World Disorder. And Akwaba to the continuation of Testimony New World Disorder. This is part 103, and it's going to be what to do. We have received part 101, and if you are in America, you are shocked as to how such wickedness, evil, could be perpetrated in the 21st century in America. You are shocked. Part 102 was recorded at the White House on the 13th of April 2022. After seeing these two exposés, your mind is blown as to how the U.S. government can engage in such wickedness and evil in the 21st century. But, listen, amidst all this, the unimaginable in America in the 21st, amidst the global helplessness, amidst the challenges that you face in your nation, amidst the total injustices that are being meted out in Ghana, amidst the repression of the people, amidst the ripping off of the people in Ghana, what do we do? What to do is what we are getting into. What to do is to understand that after creation, and God taking that long vacation on the 7th day, although he resumed on that same 7th day every other thing that he has done upon the earth has been done through men. He sought for willing men. Everything that you see upon the earth, beside the things that the Bible said were created within the 6 days, every other thing that you see has been wrought by God through men. I was saying that God took a long vacation on the 7th day and resumed on the 7th day. Yes, I said a long vacation because a day is before the eyes of the 1,000 years. In 1,000 years is before the Lord. One day, my Bible says. So I know maybe you might not understand. That is why I have to. Yeah, so blessed ones of the nation. So it is now time for us to understand that no matter how terrible the situation of Ghana is, no matter how the laws of the US are being inverted, as though there is no government in the nation, no matter how the challenges what challenge that you are going through in your nation, what to do is to understand that God needs you, the people of the nation, the people of the family, the people of the academic institution, the people of the community, the people of the church, the people of the nation to partner with him, to stand with him, to turn things around. God would never descend physically here unless the final day, when the believer, the Christian, believes that his Lord, my Lord, Jesus Christ, shall come down here to do what he must do on the behalf of humanity. Every other thing that must be done. God is in the heavens above, and he is seeking partnership with men to get it accomplished. So the challenges of your nation, the challenges of that family, the challenges of that academic institution, that community, they are solvable in partnership with God. That is what we are seeing. Let's go back to the book of John, chapter 2. That is where we left off. John 2. When, because of the cyber attacks by the coward secret killers, their terrorism against us, we had broken off on the 25th of March. On the 25th of March, we had spoken from John chapter 2. We are continuing from John chapter 2. The marriage in Cana. I read. And the third day, there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee. And the mother of Jesus was there. And both Jesus was called and his disciples to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus said unto him, "We have no wine." Jesus said unto her, "Woman, what have I to do with thee? My hour is not yet come." His mother said unto the servants, "Whatsoever he saith unto you, do it." I will take that again. His mother said unto the servants, "Whatsoever he saith unto you, do it." Without questioning, just do whatever he tells you to do. Because I know my son, and I know what he's capable of doing. I know the impossibility that he's able to accomplish. So just do it without questioning. We continue. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone. I will take that again. And there were set there 6 water pots of stones, after the manner of the purifying of the Jews. I'll take it again. After the manner of the purifying of the Jews. That is where our messages are dwelling. Containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece. Jesus said unto them, fill the water pots with water, and they filled them up to the brim. We shall end here because we have already gotten to the meat of our message. But I've told us we shall dwell here in John chapter 2 for quite a while. But just remember that the 6 water pots, the Bible says that they were prepared after the purifying of the Jews. Humanity and the nations of the world, Aquaba, for the program Testimony, New World Disorder. Jesus was invited to a feast, wedding wedding ceremony with his disciples. He went to the wedding, and unfortunately, the wedding was underplanned. So many friends, loved ones, and family members were around, and even uninvited ones came. So it looks like a problem arose where they were short of supplies. Jesus' mother noted him of the challenge. But blessed ones, what we need to understand is Jesus has been to a wedding of his own people. A wedding amongst his own people in Cana of Galilee. And the Bible says, and there were set there 6 water pots, after the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece. Blessed ones, when Jesus went to his people, he saw their readiness to partner with him to get what God must do done. Already, there had been 6 water pots that have been purified, washed, cleansed, exactly like Jesus needed them to do. So Jesus never told them, go get the pots, the pots rewashed, or take one out of it, or come add more. The exact number that Jesus needed, they were already set there. The people had availed themselves and they were there. Besides, they had been washed exactly as he needed them to wash them, and wouldn't ask them to go wash them before he does what he has to do. Humanity and the nations of the world are covered to the program Testimony, New World Disorder. What are we talking about? Jesus walked this earth over 2,000 years ago. Long before that, his people, the Jews, they had what is called standards. They weren't a people that acted anyhow. They lived by principles. They lived by set standards that they complied with in their daily lives. 2,000 years ago, they were not acting anyhow. Humanity and the nations of the world, blessed ones, are back to the program Testimony, New World Disorder. It was that standard that had been set by his people that met his standard, that preparedness of his people that met his standard brought Jesus and the preparedness of his people together. And he got what must be done. Blessed ones, Akufo to the program, testimony, new world disorder. Over 2,000 years ago, I'm saying that Jesus' people knew that life must not be lived anyhow, but there must be standards that must be complied with if life is to be meaningful, if life is to be successful, if life is to be as we desire it to be. Humanity and the nations of the world. Blessed ones, we are saying Akufo to the program, testimony, new world disorder. Jesus was not a man without standard. He wasn't a man that acted anyhow, in a vacuum, not knowing what he was doing and just doing it. There were many at the feast whose standards was that whether I'm invited or not, by reason of proximity, I must be at the wedding. Some said by reason of my friendship with the couple, I must be at the wedding. Jesus' standard was that if I am not invited with my disciples, we are not going. That is our standard. The standard of Jesus' mother, Mary, was that I have a large heart for those of my neighborhood. Whether they invite me or not, I will be there. However, that standard of Jesus' mother was not the standard of Jesus. Jesus' mother's standard was that whether he is called to help with a problem or not, son, there is a problem, go and solve it. The standard of Jesus was that I am here in this world. I do nothing of my own. I don't do anything because my mother has told me to do it. I don't live by my mother's standard. I live by the standard of he that has brought me into this world, my father. And until my father has told me that it is time for me to act, I cannot act. Your standard, ma'am, is very beautiful, excellent. To have a large heart, to be in readiness to help people. But my standard is that I cannot act until I have heard the voice of my father says, act, it is time. Blessed ones of the nations of the world. The mother of Jesus had excellent standards of perfect heartedness, of availing herself to help when help is needed. Jesus had standards that I will not be pushed around. I act only when it is time for me to act. Dignified ones of the nations of the world. The Hebrews met their perfect standards of purifying the pots after their purification process. And Jesus did not despise that standards of theirs that met his standard, and therefore bonded with them by operating and honoring the standard that they have set and using the standard in partnership with them to work excellently to give the perfect solution to their needs by ensuring that he never took one out of the six pots that were available. He never took two out of it. He never added more. He knew that the exact quantity of wine that is needed to serve all the people, and even excess, has already been made available. So Jesus came in with a standard and operated by instructing them, just put water into it and start distributing the water. Take it to the master of the ceremony to test it and compare with what they have drunk already. And tell me, testify to me whether I've given you a substandard thing or a standard that matches your standard or a standard that is way beyond and above your standard. Humanity and the nations of the world. Akwaba to the program, Testimony, New World is Order. The world is as it is because there seems to be no law, no standard in your nation, in my nation, anymore. And things are done anyhow, without the use of the mind, without following the procedures, the standards that the fathers and mothers have laid down for the running of the nation. We have decided to get, Bible says that remove not the landmarks which the fathers have laid. The standards which the fathers and mothers have set, that things must be done in the nation. They are of great importance. Remove them not. However, by reason of fellow human beings deciding that laws no longer matter in America, there must be a clique of politicians which have their will, their whims and their norms as the law, no matter what the Constitution says. This is what we want to do, and forget about the Constitution, forget about the law, and they have become the law. We have the same thing in Ghana. No standards. But listen to me, precious one. God doesn't work that way. Jesus doesn't work that way. He is a man of standards. Listen, did you know that there are schools that are called Ivy League schools? Oxford, Harvard. Why are they called Ivy League schools? They are schools of exceptional standards, which other schools in the nation cannot match that standards. Before you get into those schools, you have to meet the standards of an Ivy League student before you get in there. When you have graduated from that institution, it is not your badge that you stick on your coat to go to work, that would make you that Ivy League graduate. But living according to the standard, the principles which has passed through you to make you an Ivy League graduate, that is what makes you an Ivy League graduate, not the badge, not any substandard. I'm saying that a police officer is not the one that wears uniform. With racism in his mind and on his heart. You didn't hear that. I'm saying that a police officer is not anyone that wears police uniform. That is why we have police officers that are worse than criminals, armed robbers, terrorists. You didn't hear that. I'm saying that a school teacher is not the one that holds the chalk or the one that calls himself a teacher, but is the one that is certified as a school teacher and does the work of a school teacher. A police officer is the one that is certified as a police officer and lives and does his work according to the principles, according to the ethics, the laws that govern the work of a police officer. That is what makes him who he is. And everyone would like to salute him. That yes, you are worth my taxes being used to support you. Humanity and the nations of the world. Akufo to the program. Testimony, New World Disorder. I come from Ghana. In my nation, ask the government that what is the protocol, the procedure, the laws that govern mining. What are the procedures, the principles, the protocols, the laws that govern mining? And what were they doing with those procedures, laws, principles, to the fact that, and for all those years, that we have foreigners, people, coming in with their money because they have the money. The government says, I certify you to live by your principles. There are no principles governing the mining in Ghana. Do whatever you please. Destroy our water bodies. Do as you please. In fact, enslave our people. Because there are no labor laws that must be complied because of the money that you have brought in. All we needed is your money. No law, no principle. So they enslave my people in their own land and destroy the environment, the water bodies of their land. Why? Because there are no standards. How many years has Ghana existed as a nation? How many years? The nation obtained independence in 1957. Listen, precious ones. In many parts of the world, before you can operate a restaurant, there are principles, there are guidelines, there are requirements that you must meet. Let's take the kitchen of some restaurants of the nations of the world, for example. I know of some nations of the world whose restaurant kitchen, you must have a 3-in-1 sink system, washing system. The first one being for washing of your parts. of your trays, your glasses that you use to serve your guests. The second one being used for rinsing. And the third one being used for sanitizing of the pots. You cannot wash the pots, the glasses, the plates in the rinsing sink. You can't. You can't wash it in the sanitizing sink. You can't do that. You must strictly comply by that. Otherwise, your restaurant could be shut down and you cannot operate. In some nations, it exists. Let's ask ourselves, what standards exist for the restaurant, the food industries in your nation to operate and to live by? No standards. And we understand why there are so much health problems. Because your people are being fed with what is prepared anyhow, without any principle, without any procedure. Listen. When you go out of the Kotoka International Airport Terminal 3, a whole national airline was mismanaged. One, it couldn't be managed by the nation. No standard of aviation, no standard of management. They destroyed it. They mismanaged it and grounded the airline and converted the airline into a chop bar. You understand? That the citizenry, the little children, would just walk into the airline chop bar, sit, eat in the airline that is grounded and probably not maintained, not cleaned as it ought to. And then when you have gone on the plane, grounded, you eat and get down, and you feel like, so you can also feel like you have been on an airplane. That is somebody's mind, a leader's mind for his nation. Blessed ones of the nations of the world. I call back to the program, Testimony, Ye World Disorder. If things will turn around in America, it should not be the old nonsense and madness being applied by the Justice Department, the old lawlessness by the Justice Department, as though there is no law in the nation, where judges can collude with law enforcement bodies. The police can collude, and the Justice Department knows that their constitution don't allow that. Their Declaration of Independence doesn't allow that. There are laws of that, but they must pay a blind eye to willful criminality and crimes against their own citizens and against their own people. That need not be so. Justice Department, because that is injustice against the people. I'm saying that the Labor Department of America must cease their lawlessness of paying a blind eye to the abuse and trampling down on the right of the employees of the nation, allowing corporate bodies which control the government to do as they please to employees of America. taking their job from them whenever they please, and rendering them homeless, that the government can put them on food stamp and unemployment checks, so they become a manipulatory tool at the hands of the government. Labor Department colluding with corporate forces because of their money to enslave their own people in their land. This ought not be so. There are the fathers and mothers of old that hazarded their life and laid down principles for the Justice Department, principle for the Labor Department, principles for the State Department, principle for the U.S. House of Congress, principles for the U.S. House of Senate, laws for the White House, laws for the nation. Yet, generation that knows no law says we are the law, we are the principle, we are the ethics. Let prison industrial complex system imprison our people against our law. Let corporate pharmaceutical industrial complexes medically terrorize our people. We accept it. America, it is time. Ghana, it is time. Asia, Europe, Australia, and the nations, it is time that we understood that God is not blind of the challenges that we are facing. He's waiting for our willingness to depart from the lawlessness, the life without standard, labor departments without standard, parliament without standards. I'm not talking about Ghana. 10 Downing Street. I'm talking about that parliament somewhere. I'm talking about Akufo to the program testimony. All that we are saying is, when Jesus saw the readiness of his people, their heart for their own standards that is set perfectly and beautifully, he partnered with them and got what must be done. America is not in trillions of unsurmountable debt because the American people are not prepared to lay down their life for the nation. It is because the laws have been inverted. And somebody says that debt is money owed to the self. And the politician keep printing the money, printing the debt, printing the debt, printing the debt, imposing them on the citizenry. The citizenry says that we are not slaves in our own land. Give us justice and give us our liberty. That is our standard. Blessed ones of the nations. God is a God of standards. We must be prepared to live a life of law, not lawlessness. And God will get his will done for the redemption of your nation. God bless you. And I say, God bless my homeland, Ghana. We shall dwell here for a very long time. We shall continue in Ghana. God bless you. Say, God bless my homeland, Ghana. Bye, bye. Oh, wow. We might receive our last expose before we meet in Ghana. God bless you. Bye, bye.